Hey everyone, and welcome to a quick video about the upcoming Civilization 7 updates, because Firaxis posted some news yesterday, right after I published my previous video, and they included some of their plans for future updates, for March and April and beyond. And boy oh boy, do I have a few things to say about this. Now obviously it's a good thing that they are working on all this, but there's some interesting stuff in here. Let's just put it that way. So first of all, this is the next update that will be coming out on March the 4th. And honestly, it doesn't have nearly as much as I hoped, but it does have a few interesting things. So there will be significant changes to Modern Age's cultural legacy path and victory. This is definitely a good thing, because the cultural victory in Modern Age was kind of a weird one. The best way you could set up for a culture victory was playing an aggressive domination game in the two previous ages, and also building up a strong economy. Because the best way to win a culture victory in Modern Age was basically using gold to buy explorers constantly in the closest relevant settlement. So you basically look at where you need to go to get artifacts, and then you just buy explorers constantly. So let's say you go to an exploration site to reveal the dig sites, then you reveal a bunch of dig sites halfway across the continent. So instead of moving your explorers halfway across the continent and wasting, 6-7 turns, you just buy an explorer in your closest settlement. But in order for that to work, you need to have settlements all over the map, and you need to have a fairly strong economy. But that was the best way you could set up for a culture victory. Having settlements all over the map and having a strong economy. So it was a little bit backwards, to be honest. Anyway, so it's a good thing that they are reworking this. And also AI leaders will be better at completing cultural victory. So expect fewer explorer unit stacks. Yeah, you guys have probably seen AI sending huge numbers of explorer units to the same exact site. So you have like this huge pyramid of explorers, like 10, 15 AI explorers on the same tile. It was a little bit ridiculous. You will also be able to convert holy cities. That's an interesting solution to not being able to see which cities are holy cities. But I mean, on a serious note, that's a good change. Balance pass on several mementos. Yeah, that makes me think they're going to nerf the scouting memento. Because I think it's one of the most powerful mementos in the game right now. There are a few others that are really strong. But either way, this is definitely needed, because there are a lot of underwhelming mementos, and there are some ridiculously powerful ones. So that's a good change for sure. But anyway, what I really wanted to talk about is not this part here for the 4th of March, but this part down here. Yeah, these are the interesting things. So this is going to be the update 1.1.1 that will come out on March 25th. So basically almost a month from now, when I'm recording this and when this news was posted. And now look at what's actually included in the March 25th update, which is again, basically almost a month from now. Quick move functionality, the ability to rename commanders and cities, adding a restart button, some improvements to map generation, and then we have the looking ahead section, which are further updates beyond March. So April or later. And here we got a one more turn button, which lets you continue playing past Modern Age. Again, this is something we won't see until April the earliest. So basically potentially 2 months from now, or even later than that. So auto explore, one more turn button, new map sizes, all platforms except Nintendo Switch. I remember that the moment I heard Civilization 7 will be releasing on all kinds of platforms including Switch, this was immediately my concern, that because Nintendo Switch is not exactly a powerful piece of hardware, to say the least, I had some concerns that it will affect the game on basically every other platform. And I was right. The reason we don't have maps bigger than standard is Nintendo Switch. This pretty much confirms it. And we will not have maps bigger than standard, at least not officially, until April or beyond. Because again, this is the looking ahead section, beyond March. So April the earliest. Either way, this is going to be the update after March 25th. And you can play bigger maps right now for mods, but we will not get that officially until this happens. Anyway, some other things that are included in here is research queuing, mod tools, and the Steam Workshop support. So we will not get the modding tools and the Steam Workshop support until April or even later than that. And additional game setup customization options. So let me just say this. It's a good thing that they are working on adding all this stuff, but this section in particular, the things that will happen in April or later, a lot of these are things that should have been in the game from the beginning. So just look at it that way. We'll have to wait until April or beyond to get things as basic as one more turn button, auto-explore, bigger map sizes, research queuing, Steam Workshop support, extra game setup customization options, because the advanced game setup in Civilization 7 is probably the weakest advanced setup in any Civ game in a long time. There really isn't a whole lot in there that you could do advanced setup for. I'm just saying. And also, some of these will be delivered as early as April, subject to change, though many will take longer to develop, test, and deploy. So this potentially sounds like we might have to wait for things like Steam Workshop support longer than April, maybe even May or beyond. But even if that's not the case, we will not get Steam Workshop support until April, and that's the most optimistic scenario. Both Civilization 5 and Civilization 6 had the Steam Workshop support very shortly after release, and Civilization 5 released in October 2010. That was 15 years ago. 14 and a half, I guess. So anyway, I will just go back to something I already said, both in my previous video, in my review video, and during my streams. I said this multiple times. If you haven't bought Civilization 7, then honestly, the best thing to do is to just wait for these updates. And by the time these updates are out, you might actually see some discounts. There might be a minus 25% discount at the very least during summer sales or something like that. I would totally expect something like that to happen. Because frankly, as nice as it is that they are working on these things, the reason they have to work on them to begin with is because things as basic as quick move, renaming cities and commanders, auto-explore, map sizes, one more turn, research queuing. The reason they have to work on these things is because they were not included in the game to begin with. Which, quite frankly, I don't think is acceptable in a mainline Civilization game in 2025, especially when you're being asked to pay over $70 for the base edition. But that's just the way I see it. And again, it's nice that they are working on all this. I'm not claiming otherwise. It's a good thing we're getting these updates, but let's not lose sight of the fact that a lot of these things are really basic functionalities that should have been in the game to begin with. And now we have to wait until late March or even April to actually get them. So in case of April, that's 2 months or more after the release. So we will not have things like one more turn, auto-explore, bigger map sizes, research queuing, mod tools and Steam Workshop support until more than 2 months after game release. So just let that sink in for a moment. And also, remember, I know most of us are Civilization fans, many of us are long-time Civilization fans, But remember that at the end of the day, they are not doing you a favor, they're not doing it out of goodness of their hearts. They are selling an entertainment product. Like, that's what it is. And the gaming industry is hyper competitive. There are so many other games that are competing for your wallets and for your time. So unless you're a Civilization Giga fan and you have to play Civilization specifically, and you cannot play anything else, then, well, you have plenty of options of what to play. I play plenty of different games myself. I don't play just Civilization. I don't even play just strategy games. So there are so many different games competing for my time and for my wallet. I feel like that's a very important context to add. Anyway, that was my thoughts on this update, so thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.